So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I know that this is very challenging to be here, and so even just being in this room together is taking a first really important step in addressing this incident. And we wanted to start by doing some introductions just to know who all is here to support this process. And then we'll go into, why we're here and then start to have a discussion about the incident. So I can start with introductions. My name is Justine, and I'm one of the facilitators, and I've connected with each of you on an individual basis.
My name is Hunter. I am a friend of David's. I'm here to support him and also because I was the one to film the fight.
My name is Esmeralda, and I'm David's older sister.
My name is David, and I was the person harmed.
My name is James, and I'm one of David's friends.
Hi, my name is Mr. Cooper. I'm the vice principal at Canyon Valley High School, and I'm working on this case.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Brooks, and I'm Derek's teacher, and I'm also the person that founded with Mr. Cooper the LGBT club at the high school.
Hi, my name's Adel. I'm a community member from Culture Life, and I'm here to help any way that I can.
Hi, my name is Officer Abdi. I'm the school police officer assigned to Canyon View High School.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Mariana, and I'm also one of the facilitators today.
Robert Johnson's Derek's daddy.
Hi, I'm Nikki Johnson, and I'm Derek's mother.
I'm Derek Johnson, and I'm a responsible youth.
Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm Derek's friend and here for support.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I'm Derek's friend too, and I'm also here for support.
Thank you, everyone. So as we can see, there's a lot of people here that really care about both of you and want to support you as much as possible. And really, the hope for today is to talk about what happened during the incident and to share the impact of that incident on each of us and to talk about our feelings and emotions related to that. And then also to start to make some connections with each other that are more positive based on what happened. And then to really talk about how do we move forward in the most productive and supportive way possible, and how do we hold each other accountable for our actions. So that's really why we're here.
So before we get started today, we'd like to go over some guidelines, some ground rules to help us during our process. And so a couple of things I want to share. The first ground rule is that we all respect each other. And part of that is that one person speaks at a time. We want to make sure that we hear everyone's story, that we honor everyone's perspective. So if we could be mindful of that, respecting each other and respecting the process. The second one is honesty and openness. And what we find is that this process works the more we can be honest and open with each other. We encourage that because part of being honest and open is that we let everything out. And in letting everything out, we can dialogue about it and work through it. And so be mindful of that as well. The next one is accountability and support. We're all here holding each other accountable in this process because we care about each other and supporting each other. And we can support each other by active listening and then assuming that everyone here is doing the best they can in this process. We're all here for different reasons, and so if we can be mindful that everyone is doing their best, that'll help our process together. And then that if things get really intense or we find ourselves stuck in some place, that we can take a break. It doesn't have to stay in the same way. We can always take a break and pause for a minute and do some reflection or just take a break. And then finally, that this process is voluntary. You all chose to be here, and for some of us that takes a lot of courage and strength and commitment. And commitment because you all care deeply about someone here. And so I'd really like to just acknowledge that piece. Is there anything else that anyone would like to add to our ground rules today that you think might benefit the group? Does everyone think we could follow these ground rules for the remainder of our time together? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. And so we're just going to start the process now. I just wanted to remind everyone about the confidentiality form that we all filled out and signed as we came in. And basically, that's to say that everything that we talk about here is confidential and will not be shared outside of this space. Does everyone agree to that? And really, that's to allow us to share as openly and as much of our experience as possible. So nothing that we share here will be held against us outside of this space. It's really just to be as open, as honest as possible. So the one caveat to the confidentiality form is mandatory reporting. So Derek, if you can share with us what happened and what you can take responsibility for.
So, one day we were in class and David was talking to somebody else, not me. And, he was talking about sports. So I kind of chimed in, I jumped in the conversation and I said, what do you know about sports? And I called him a derogatory name, but.
What did you call him?
I said he was gay. And, I didn't really mean nothing by it at first. I mean, it's a joke. Everybody laughed. But now I see that that was wrong. And that can be really hurtful to somebody. So I didn't really think nothing of it at the time. He didn't really say nothing. And, we went on with our day. Later on in the week, I saw him and I, kind of bumped into him a little bit. And I called him another derogatory name.
What was that name?
I called him a faggot. And after that, I think we ran into each other one more time. And maybe he was fed up with me kind of bothering him. So we got into a little bit of a heated argument. I said some things, he said some things, and I just got really mad at some of the words and stuff he was saying about me. So I just beat him up. That's it.
And Derek, how did that main incident start? You said you beat him up. But can you give us a little more detail about that?
Yeah, I was kind of messing with him in the locker room and stuff. I said, you probably do like to play football with boys, huh? And, I think that kind of was the last straw for him. Because then he said something about me being black. And, he said some derogatory terms towards me being black. And I just got furious and I just took off on him. Meaning I started hitting him.
How are you feeling at the time when all of that was happening?
I guess I knew it was wrong, but at the time, you don't really think about being wrong or really reflecting on what I was doing. I wasn't really thinking, just kind of doing something just to do it. And then, when he said those things about me, I couldn't stand it, And that's when I really just wasn't thinking, because I was angry.
Thank you, Derek.
David, would you like to share your perspective of the incident?
One of my friends were talking about football, the game that just happened recently. And then Derek came in, was like, what do you know about football, And you're gay. And so, you know, everybody else is laughing, but like for me, you know, that kind of hurt. And I was thinking about it a bit, and then later on in the week, I was walking down, and then he bumped me threw another derogatory word my way. And then a little bit later, you know, we was kind of fed up with everything. And so, you know, we were in the locker room and we're just doing our thing, whatever. And then he said something. And then I threw a racial slur at him. And then
David, what was that?
I called him a monkey. So, and then also said a couple other words throughout when we were throwing words at each other. So there was that too. And then, I don't know, I kind of just lost it because I'm done being picked on. And I always have been. So there was that too.
And how were you feeling at that time?
At the time, I don't know, I kind of just blanked out a bit. And it was just rage, really. Kind of just blacked out. And just kind of, that's about it. I think one of us threw a punch, and then from there, it escalated to a fight in general.
He feels uncomfortable because he's never done this before. And I just feel like, yeah, like I'm disappointed that he said that, especially because I always talk to him about culture and respecting other people's cultures. But at this point, it's like I can just imagine why he did that. He was tired of being bullied. He's been bullied like since he was elementary. And yeah, it wasn't right for him to fight back. At the same time, who was he gonna tell? And I'm shocked that he didn't tell me because I always thought we had a good relationship. And now I'm thinking that it was my fault because I wasn't with him, I wasn't talking to him, and I'm busy in school, working 2 jobs. My mom's in the hospital. Something could have gone really bad that day.
Esmeralda, what was your experience like that day, like when you heard about what happened to David?
When I got a call from the vice principal, I was scared. I was scared that he was seriously injured because he wasn't really telling me a lot over the phone. And so when I went to pick him up, I was just worried, like what happened to him?
Mom, what was your experience that day? You touched on it a little bit, but you know, the first time that you heard about this was when Derek came home that day?
Well, no, I got a phone call first from the school, from Mr. Cooper, that he had been involved in a fight. And as parents, you immediately jump to, well, what did somebody do to him? But then I had to just step back and realize that I know my son's been struggling. I know he's been unhappy and he's been angry about the relationship, you know, with his father. So for me, it just felt like deja vu. You know, his dad went to prison for something that I told him we should not, you know, he should not be involved in. We should not be participating in. But he felt like for a short period of time, he can get his hustle on and then we can come out of our situation. So finally, he's out and we're trying to get reestablished, and then he jumps into something. So it was like, man, law enforcement. I was tired of it, and I was hurt, and I was disappointed.
What about you, Mr. Johnson? What was that day like for you when you heard about it?
I was, you know, definitely disappointed and whatnot. But, you know, Derek, he's a good kid. You know, he's you know, he tries to stay on top of his studies and, you know, and do the right thing for the most part. And truthfully, I know a lot of his struggles is because of me, you know, and I've been trying to reconnect with him and let him know that I'm here, you know. But it's, you know, he's had to step up, you know, and be the man in the house for a while. And now that I'm back, I know it's kind of difficult for him, you know, trying to do stuff and but he's a good kid though, you know. I know he's a lot smarter than I was, you know, in school and everything. You know, I struggled, and that's why I started doing half the stuff I did. But he doesn't have to do that. Like, he's a real smart kid. He get more stuff from his mama than he do me. So that's probably why. But you know, I was kind of, you know, disappointed about the situation, but I know he can get beyond that.
I am really sorry. I didn't know what you guys were going through, and there's no excuse for my actions. I guess I was angry too because, you know, my dad has been out of my life for so long. You know, I just took it out on somebody else maybe because I was angry. I didn't even want to go to the prison and see my dad whenever my mom went. But I didn't know what you guys were going through. At least I have a dad, you know? So I'm sorry, and I know your mom's sick. And I can truthfully say I won't do this again because I understand that my actions now impact more than just me. And it impacts so many people, everybody that's involved with a situation. So, sorry, David.
So first of all, I want to thank David and Derek for coming in and sharing your stories with us. It's really brave and courageous of you to be here with us. As I was growing up, I was also bullied, coming from different races, and being the first generation in my family. It was very difficult for me, and I'm pretty sure not a lot of people were aware of how to approach me. And I feel like if we had more knowledge of this situation, or we had more knowledge of the culture or the backgrounds that we come from, that we're better able to approach the situation. I know that David, you recalled some words that you weren't too happy about, and also Derek wasn't happy about the words that were spoken to him, but I'm pretty sure if you guys had the knowledge, you wouldn't have used those terms in the first place. If you had more knowledge of where they came from, or if you had a different way to approach the situation, you would have, of course, approached it that way.
On my door, in my classroom, it says this is a safe zone. And all my students, Derek knows what that means, the LGBT club meets in my classroom. And for me, Kate and I worked really hard to provide this space for people. Kate is one of the leaders in our schools that really works with this kind of stuff and in supporting students to feel safe. And for me, I'm just overwhelmed to think that both of them didn't feel safe. And so it's very upsetting for me. And, you know, Derek's saying how selfish he is, but he was one of the best students that volunteered at the camp for kids last summer. And I talked to Mrs. Johnson about that. He's got so much potential. So for me, I'm just really hurt that the thing that's so important to us at our school is providing a safe zone for these kind of students. So for me, I'm just really hurt that they both felt so unsafe, that racial slurs were said, that things that hurt his sexual orientation. It's just really upsetting for me because we're trying to provide that space. And I know these kids have such much potential. So it's just really upsetting to think that they hurt each other that way. Because I know there's so much there for both of them.
Help me understand this. So, Derek, you've been talking about all these stuff to these folks, but, you know, you haven't, you know, we can't even sit down and have a conversation. You know, you didn't want to come see me, but so this your new family that you got or something? Like,
That's not it. You just been gone so long. I don't really know how to talk to you.
And Dad, I think, you know, right now we're focusing on the incident that occurred and the the fight that happened. And what you're saying is so important. And I think there's a lot happening here, right? We're a whole school community and the family is here. And so I know that it's a lot for you, right? It's like he's got these relationships with other people, and how does this all fit together? And I think that's something that we can really dive into when we talk about the support plan and the action plan. How can we create some better communication lines between both of you? And maybe that would be helpful as a next step after today. I think that's a really valid point. How do we open up those lines of communication and between school, right? Because it seems like you're feeling the same way. Like, why did this even happen? Maybe we could have prevented it because we have all of these proactive things that we do at the school site.
Mm-hmm. We've got allies, we've got support, we've got people who care to support the families. Mr. Johnson, we want to support you as much as we can. Mrs. Johnson, Esmeralda, and your mother, we want to support the families.
And that's the main point, really, for both of you, David and Derek, that you have a lot of people here that want to support and help you, and that next time something comes up and those emotions are bubbling up and you're feeling bullied or maybe alone or frustrated or angry, that there's a different way of working through it, that you can go to people that you trust. And we're all here making that commitment to you that we want to do that, right? So welcome back, everyone. We just took a little break to get a snack and to start to reflect on what we want to put on the action plan of how we're going to move forward to support Derek and David, and what they need to be held accountable for their actions. So what we want to do now is kind of explain a little bit about the action plan process. And we've got an action plan up there for both of you. And really, it's broken down into 4 main parts. What you can do for each other to make the harm as right as possible. What you can do for your school community and the community outside your school to contribute back in a positive way, and how you can build stronger relationships with your family. So we talked a lot about that in the first part of the conference of, maybe there was a breakdown in communication and everyone's been very busy, so how can we work on those relationships moving forward? And then also yourself. So what do you need as support moving forward so you feel comfortable and like you can complete this plan and like you have everything that you need to be successful at school and in your community? All of us will be contributing to the plan. And really, this is a time for us all to also agree on the plan. So we can't put something up there unless we all feel like we're in agreement that that's a good way of moving forward. And it's okay to speak up and say, I'm not feeling comfortable with that, or I don't think I can actually complete that, and we'll check in with each other. Derek's action plan, it needs to be very specific. So we've got due dates up here, and how long whatever action it is, how long that's going to take, and who can support Derek in that piece of the action plan. So we'll all be contributing to the support of him completing this.
Well, my first idea was to attend maybe one or more meetings of the LGBT with David so I can further understand him and to, be more comfortable with what he's going through.
David, how does that sound to you?
That worked for me. I'd be on board with that, and I think it'd be great and whatnot. So.
Okay, you'd be comfortable with him coming?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there usually a teacher there? Just
I just feel like it's still kind of fresh. Like, would they be at each other?
So we both attend these
Oh, okay.
meetings, so we both feel very strongly about this issue. Kate and some of her friends also come as allies. And so it's not just LGBT students, but it's also Mr. Cooper and myself, and some of the allies come to the meetings as well.
And everyone's welcome for what they want to feel safe for.
Great. Okay. So, Derek, if you want to put that right here under David. And when did those meetings happen? What we want to make sure is that, does it feel like we're in a good place and everyone's needs are being met through his action plan? Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much to everyone for contributing to the action plans and really being active members of this process. We've come a long way during this time together, and we've shared a lot. And so I'd really like to just check in with you all right now, and if we can go around the circle and just share one word of how you're feeling right now as we close this circle together. And I can start. I'm feeling really peaceful.
Relieved.
I am feeling very grateful.
I'm feeling unburdened.
I'm feeling hopeful.
Like we're gonna be all right.
I'm also feeling gratitude.
It's good to see accountability.
This experience has made me more aware.
I'm feeling incredibly proud of these two young men.
I'm feeling very inspired.
I feel at ease.
I'm feeling optimistic.
Tired, but acknowledged.
I feel lighter.
Thank you everyone for sharing. It sounds like from your words that we're in a much better place than when we started here today. And I just really appreciate you all being so open and vulnerable and participating so fully. And really the next step is that we'll share the action plans with you and keep you all updated as they are completed. And then we'll have an acknowledgement and celebration at the end when the action plans are completed. So we'll all stay in the loop until that process ends. Sound good? Okay. So thank you all again for being here today. Great job.